The Pokemon community looks like they are huge fans of alternate Pokemon forms, more specifically Convergent forms. And with Gen 10 right around the corner, I thought what better time to showcase even more epic Convergent Pokemon designs that could exist in a brand new region and Pokemon game. And well, with the help of the amazing artist, thepanio, we just might be able to make these new Convergent Pokemon feel like the real deal. So without further ado, let's get started with this guy, Shiff, the ground type mud pup Pokemon. Now, although this resembles the Sinnoian Shinx line, it is not related to that Pokemon at all. Shiff are a pack mentality type of Pokemon, where they are often found in packs in deserts and dry areas. Now, personally, I love this design and can definitely see it as a Pokemon to catch for my team, that's for sure. These Pokemon can use their keen senses to detect vibrations in the ground, allowing them to hunt for prey from below the surface. They're also known for their loyalty and their protective nature, especially towards their trainers and their packs. However, once your Shiff reaches level 15, it'll then evolve into Muxio, the ground type mud Pokemon, one which dominates in a sandstorm terrain, especially with the abilities Sand Veil and Sand Rush. Muxio are formidable predators that can cause minor tremors by stamping their feet. And it's also said that their roar can echo underground, traveling great distances and even disorienting its foes. Now, I like how its demeanor is way more serious than its pre-evo, which makes me anticipate its final evolution being kind of an alpha of sorts for the pack, which brings us to Muxio's evolution at level 30, where it becomes Luxiff, the ground type Pokemon. And this design did not disappoint. I mean, with that pose and stature, you really get the message that this is the alpha of the pack, and the Muxio and Shiff follow this Pokemon's directions to a T. Luxiff have the uncanny ability to sprint with explosive bursts of power, kicking up clouds of dust that can blind and choke their prey. And if that wasn't enough to consider this Pokemon as an apex predator, well, their claws are sharp enough that it can tear through pretty much anything, including solid rock. Which brings us to the next Convergent Pokemon line of today's video, and hey, you know what? Why not do a pseudo-legendary? Introducing Bugle, the bug poison type worm Pokemon, which has an uncanny resemblance to the Sinnoian Gible. However, these two species are not related at all. Bugle is kind of a Magikarp of this region, being almost entirely defenseless. It's not too fast and doesn't have a huge selection of moves. However, if you do get near this Pokemon's chompers, well then, it might just be able to inflict some decent bite damage on you. Bugle is known to bury its way into the ground, and this is usually meant as a means of hiding from predators, but also trapping smaller, unsuspecting prey. And once this Pokemon reaches level 24, it finally starts to get a bit more mobile. Beat Gabinale, the bug poison type snail Pokemon. This Pokemon's arch nemesis is none other than Nacli, but as long as none are around, these Pokemon can still be quite scary. Using its saliva and poisonous barbs, it's able to paralyze and poison their prey, often slowing them down to a complete stop. And although snails are often associated with low speed stats, this Gabinale is the exception. Being able to travel at extensive speeds, definitely a leg up, if you will, from its previous evolution. But now it's time to check out the final stage of this epic line, where at level 48, Gabinale evolves into Garchomp, the bug poison type Pokemon, which gives me huge Gen 5 Scolipede vibes, which honestly I'm a huge fan of. I always loved that Pokemon, and Scolipede was the first bug type Pokemon that turned me into a bug type Pokemon fan. Then there was Center Scorch, then Lokix, and well, that's enough of that. Back to Garchomp. This Pokemon's presence is enough to deter most natural predators. Along with its hidden ability Gooey and already high speed, this Pokemon has little to no problem taking on any foe. It rules over its territory with a lethal combination of airborne toxins and swift striking attacks, making it a pseudo-legendary that is sought after with heavy caution. But you didn't think we would only check out a single pseudo-legendary line, did ya? Nope. Meet Fueino, the fire ice type worm Pokemon. Hey, it's a worm like Bugle, but spelled differently. Anyway, this Pokemon has an uncanny resemblance to Dino from Unova. However, these Pokemon are not related at all. Instead, Fueino can be found in various environments. This is due to their ability to regulate their body temperature to extreme heat or cold. One of the most powerful abilities in the world of Pokemon that leads to them inhabiting various areas of the region. Now, this Pokemon used to be pretty overpopulated. However, poachers and hunters would hunt them down and sell their thermal glands on the black market, which has since made them an endangered species. Because of this, their evolution lines are almost never seen, since they don't usually even get to make it to full adulthood. However, if your Fueino reaches level 50, well then, it'll evolve into Zueiku, the Fire Ice type Pokemon. Now with 2 heads, it's often thought this evolution is a way to combat its threat of extinction, now producing twice the thermal resilience. This Pokemon can both burn and freeze foes, giving it quite the defensive capabilities. However, one thing to note about this Pokemon is that both its heads are separate beings, often fighting for dominance and control, which leads us to its final evolution, because at level 64, the winner of that feud evolves into Hifweisk, the Fire Ice type Cerberus Pokemon, with the other 2 heads being its minions and mastering either fire or ice respectively. The middle head is the dominant one that controls the other's actions. This Pokemon is the thing of myths and legends, and it is said that if you find one, it might just be the last thing you'll ever see, which kinda sucks because this is a Pokemon I would 100% want on my team. I mean, especially that shiny variant, just look at it. Which brings us to our next Convergent line, and it's kinda adorable. Introducing Badby, the Dark-type Trouble Pokemon, a Pokemon that harbors a strong resemblance to Johto's Magby. However, that's all they have in common, as they are separate species. Badbys are little pranksters that live in dark, haunted forests, often scaring and pranking unsuspecting trainers and passerbyers. They use their cunning and deceptive tactics to spook both prey and predators as well, often mimicking the sounds of the forest Pokemon. And although this Pokemon seems like a total pain, something about it is kinda cute, don't you think? Anyway, at level 30, it'll evolve into Feller, the Dark-type Trouble Pokemon. A Pokemon who has the ability to manipulate darkness around themselves, which they often use to mislead wanderers and illuminate different paths with the absence of light. These Pokemon prefer to lurk in the darkest corners of the region. However, they are known to be exceptionally loyal to their trainers, if a trainer ever sticks around long enough to catch one. Which brings us to its final stage, and that's Gangstar. See what I did there? The Dark-type Pokemon. In order to evolve into this stage, you need to trade your Feller while it's holding a Fellerizer, new item specific to this line. But once you do, you get a Pokemon that is feared and respected across the entire region as a Spectral Guardian, a master of darkness, if you will. It can create illusions with its shadows, and is also able to trap foes in an endless labyrinth of their own fears. But what do you guys think? Out of these Pokemon, I think Luxif is really cool, but its personality might not actually mesh with mine so well, so I don't think I'm gonna opt to have this Pokemon on my team. Instead, I think I would hunt for both pseudo-legendaries, Garchomp and Hifeisk, since their designs are top tier and have dragon-like characteristics without actually being dragon types. And then finally, I think Badby line would definitely get picked up because it's such a cool idea and really cute Pokemon, being able to manipulate the shadows like that. But if you're wondering about its twin line, aka Elekid, well then, you definitely should check out this Convergent line of Electivire, or should I say Honeyvire in this video right here. Something tells me you'll love it.